Welcome back to Tom Dave's Live. Today we have Treva Fulton. Treva, how are you today?
I'm well. Thank you, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Awesome. Great to see you as always. If you don't mind, if you could please share with our viewers, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I live in Denver, Colorado now. However, I was born and raised in Laramie, Wyoming. So not too far from here, about 2.5 hours. Wonderful small town to grow up in, but very cold. So as soon as I could leave, I did. I know people think Denver weather is kind of crazy, but not compared to Wyoming. So
Awesome.
I moved right after college, actually. I
Oh, you
finished.
did? Okay.
Mhm.
Wow. Well,
Yep.
so what was it like growing up as a child in Wyoming? What was that like? And tell us about your experiences and your family.
I'm one of three children. I'm the middle. And you know what? It was really a great place to grow up. The town is like 25,000. For those people that don't know, Wyoming is the least populated state in the country, less than 500,000. So I don't know. A little bit, it's like going back in time, but in a good way. And just, down to earth people. And I like to surround myself with those kinds of people. So yeah, it was great growing up there. Although, like I said, it was cold, and I looked to make a move, if nothing else, for that reason and opportunity. Honestly, if you're not associated with the school system or the government, the opportunities are smaller in terms of financially. So.
Well, and speaking of financially, I know that you have a great business mind. What businesses and what profession were you in prior to real estate?
So I got my degree in exercise physiology, of which I never worked in. I I was after my bachelor's degree, I was kind of done with school, and I really needed to go on and get my master's. But I came down here to Denver, and I originally, right out of school, I was a server at Olive Garden. And then from there, I actually worked for a surgeon, and I did something called micropigmentation, which probably people don't know much about, but I helped that surgeon. And then I had a good friend that was on the finance side of the real estate transaction. So she said, "Hey, this is a great opportunity. You should really think about this and try it." And I thought, yeah, that sounds like something I'd like to do. So I actually ended up originating loans for about 6 years before I officially got into real estate and made that transition.
Wow. Well, that's awesome. Well, that's such a great background from serving others and being in the restaurant business. I was in the restaurant, business myself, and I recommend that to everyone. They need to experience that. Isn't that the truth?
I
Serving others and helping. And then so, wow, with that background, so what inspired you after mortgage? What inspired you to get into real estate, and what companies did you work with through that course of time?
So what I did is I just, as I was originating loans, obviously I talked to a lot of realtors, and I started really thinking that maybe that suited my personality better. Just having more involvement on that side of the transaction, relationships. Not that you don't on the lending side, but it is, there's a lot more time involved on the real estate side. So I got my license. Took me a few years to transition. But the first company I worked for was just a tiny little indie company. And the reason I worked there was because they were one of the few people that would have let me originate loans and do real estate at the same time. But I needed to do that financially to make that transition. So after that, I ended up just kind of, I fully made my transition into real estate in 2006. So great timing as things were,
Yeah.
as things were crashing. But, that was good for me because it truly taught me how to survive in this business. But I also worked for a company called Capital Access Mortgage. I worked for a wonderful company called Watermark Financial. And then on the real estate side, I've worked for England Folkers. I've worked for Keller Williams. Colorado Home Realty, and then a couple other smaller indie type companies.
Wow, what a great experience. And so we're honored to have you now at eXp Realty. And I know you could have chosen any real estate brokerage. There were, I'm sure, a lot of brokers trying to recruit you. So what inspired you to join eXp Realty?
You know, over the course of my career, and I think probably other agents would agree with this, and it just really started kind of weighing on me over the years. But what I realized is that, I'm the only one, whether, I'm a solo agent on a team, whatever the scenario is, it's always what I can do. And there is no contribution as an agent as far as your retirement whatsoever. And it's just what I can do. I mean, I thank God I've been able to, buy investment properties and things like that and invest, but it still boils down to what I can do. And so when I started looking around, I mean, I really have been looking for something for many years in terms trying to come up with anything just to contribute and leverage myself for retirement. And I made the decision for my future.
Absolutely. Well, it's just so inspiring to have you join our organization. And it was so great connecting with you at our last event. So I just love your energy. I mean, you're just you're a courageous leader, honest communicator, and you're definitely committed to personal excellence. So
Thank
I
you.
honor that.
Thank
That
you.
is so cool. Speaking of cool, you moved from Colorado, moved from Wyoming. It's cold there. So,
Yeah.
Well, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
I'd like to say maybe elaborate a little bit on when I say I made that move for my future. Because obviously this is my career and I sell real estate. I don't think of it as selling, but guidance for my clients. But with that being said, I just felt like that EXP, if I'm going to produce real estate, why not, sell real estate for a company where I have the opportunity to earn stock, someone else, putting into my pocket, not just me. Why not work for a company that I have the opportunity to buy stock if I want to at a discount? Why not work for an organization that the way it's designed and their mission is to, give back to their agents? And there's so many ways that you can leverage in EXP. Not everybody I know chooses, all options, and that's the great part. You can, be the agent you want to be, but there's also ways that you can leverage and take advantage of someone giving back to you just by the way it's set up.
Absolutely. And you're very honest and you're very humble. So I really appreciate your honesty, your humbleness, and you're smart. You're very, very sharp. So that was a smart decision.
Well, with that being said, the other piece of it is that I am surrounding myself with people, you, Tom, included in that have not only been incredibly successful at EXP, but even before. And I want to continue to be able to, get better myself. And so the support that I've had already has been incredible by incredible people. And that includes you. And I appreciate it.
Well, like Jim Rohn says, you're the sum total of the 5 people you spend most time with. So it's great spending time with you for sure. So,
Thank you.
Treva, if anyone wants to reach out, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me and the quickest way to get a hold of me is via text. My number should be there at the bottom of the screen, as well as my email address. But my phone number, 720-350-1010. And then my email address, my name, of course, Treva at thetrevgroup.com.
Awesome. Well, great spending time with you again, Treva. Super excited. We're honored to be in partnership and collaborating and working together with our vision. And if any of you have any questions, feel free to reach out to either Treva or myself. and we'd love to serve. So
Yeah.
thanks everyone. Thanks, Treva. Have a
Thank
good
you.
day.
Appreciate your time. Thanks, Tom. Have a good day.